Yes, good morning, people. How are we doing? And good afternoon and good evening for all those fans who are in different time zones. How are we doing? Let's do some admin. First and foremost, find your nearest fire escape. I will not be held responsible for any burning buildings. Please, as well, if you're driving, please don't type in the comments. People type in and say, I'm driving. No, don't drive and text, or just watch, or just listen, or don't listen to the radio. Big up to each and every one of you. Match Bingo, one of our sponsors. The code is fhtv for anyone that wants to join. Just go over, download the Match Bingo app and type in the code fhtv. And also OK Jersey for all your sporting goods, Spurs shirts, football shirts. And the code is Savva with 2 V's. The number of times my sponsor tells me that he can see people trying to type in the name Savva and using 1 V. 2 V's, it's not difficult. 2 V's. Just imagine it's a W basically when you put them together. 2 V's. Teachers at school that couldn't even get the 2 V's right. 2 V's. It's not hard. It's not hard. My surname is comprised of 3 letters, an S, 2 A's and 2 V's. Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday. Spurs are in the news as always. What happens if we go down? We're going to be having a look at that. We're going to be watching the Stefan Borson video, finance expert. We're going to watch what he said on TalkSport and we'll talk through it together. I have, for my troubles, given Marios one more chance. If he says anything stupid, we're just going to get rid of him. But I am going to bring up some of his comments from the other day that he got absolutely terribly wrong. Stinker and hooked as always. This is the guy that said he would put a combined Spurs Forest 11 and there were 7 Spurs players and 4 Forest players. How stupid does that look now? Again, it's the arrogance and the lack of understanding of football. Pete Chambers has said early doors, Sav, honest question, mate. 3 clubs go down every year. Why do Spurs deserve better? Well, we're charged one of the highest ticket prices in world football, right? Our shirt prices are, I believe, the 1st or 2nd highest price in the world. We were promised that we would compete with the big teams. Yes, we absolutely deserve better. By the way, I'm going to bring up comments. This guy last week said, you can't sack Tudor. He got a point at Liverpool. Just remember this. As I always say to you guys, be careful what you wish for. If you say, I don't want to sack Igor Tudor and then we lose, then when you say Tudor out, you look very silly. If you are somebody that changes your opinion every game, it shows that you aren't the brightest. Sorry, just going to put it out there. The number of YouTubers I'm seeing, last week, it was got to get rid of Tudor. Then it was got to keep Tudor. Now this week, it's got to get rid of Tudor. Make up your minds. Make up your minds. And please never say yes to getting married, because you can't do that to your fiance. You can't say yes one week and no the next, and then yes again. Have an opinion and stick to it. It's not difficult. If evidence changes over months or whatever, change your opinion. But please, 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 all these children that change their opinion every single game, I can't deal with it. I can only tell you, right? This is what Marios said last week. A combined 11 sells Aina, Romero, Van der Ven and Spence, Paulinho, Anderson and Xavi, with Hudson-Odoi, Richie and Tell. I mean, tell me you don't understand football without telling me you don't understand football. I mean, imagine thinking that Romero, Van der Ven and Spence work better in a back 4 than Murillo, Milenkovic and Neco Williams. It's absolutely crazy. But as Philly said, those who don't hear must feel. People like Marios deserve relegation. I've said it. Most of us don't. People like Marios deserve relegation. They can't work out why we're a mess. They think all of our players are better than every other club's players, and they've got no evidence to back it up. And as I said, when I brought him on last week, he had nothing to say. Yeah, really good technical player. You go, what? Like, what? Anyway, we move on. We're going to look at the Stefan Borson interview. We're going to look at the Stefan Borson interview and see just what it means for Tottenham if they go down. And again, for all those saying, let's go down, please stop, take a breath and have a think. Have a little think to yourself as to the actual ramifications of going down and how difficult it is to get up. Listen, I hate ENIC as much as the next guy. I hate ENIC running this club as much as the next person. That doesn't mean I want to see my team relegated. Yeah, Matt, as I said, when people say things, it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant, Matt. I see so many that change their mind like that. And I'm like, hang on, I'm sure last week you said, let me go and have a look. The purveyor of doom. I love that. Where is that guy? Have you noticed? He called me the purveyor of doom because I didn't like the 11 that Tudor picked. And I said we'd struggle to create. What happened? We got battered 3-0 and we struggled to create. But hey, the purveyor of doom. Maybe it should be called the purveyor of realism. The purveyor of realism. Good morning to you all. I feel in a good mood today. Maybe we get some news about Tottenham. I understand the frustration. Lots of people saying they've not made a decision on Tudor yet. We don't actually know that, right? There's a difference between having not made a decision and actually being able to announce anything. They may have made their mind up on Tudor, but they're waiting to get somebody else in and get the I's dotted and the T's crossed, right? So, listen, absolutely, by the way, they might not have. They might be keeping him. I don't know. There's a lot of noise. There is always a lot of noise around Tottenham. All I know is it's a massive job for whoever comes in next. As I said, we're going to have fans like Marios that give that new manager one game. If he doesn't win, it will be he's shit as well. It's going to be tough for whoever comes in, but it is what it is. Look, I want to talk a little bit today. As I said, we're going to look at the Stefan Borson video. I'm sure some of you have seen it. And we're going to be talking about Spurs fans deserving better. And don't get me wrong, there's probably a couple of percentage of the Spurs fans that don't. I think there's some very arrogant Spurs fans. I think there are so many arrogant Spurs fans, as I said, that don't seem to understand, how far we've fallen. They don't seem to understand that Kane and Son kept this club in the top 5, 6 for years and years and years. They don't get it. They're not understanding that the players we've got left aren't at the caliber to finish in a top 4. They're not that caliber. But we can keep saying it, we can keep pretending, and we can keep blaming every single manager that comes to Tottenham Hotspur. So listen, we're gonna talk about that a bit later as well. But we'll start with the Stefan Borson video because I don't know. Let me know in the chat if you've seen it. I think it's really interesting. When you actually break down what relegation means for Tottenham, not just that we've gone into another league. When you break down what it means for the players, for the staff, by the way, not just the players and the directors, but the staff who are on normal wages, like you and me, that normal wages, lots of them might lose their job. So when we're saying just get relegated, and I know it's a small minority, but when people are saying we'll easily bounce back, I think that people really need to understand the magnitude. And Stefan Borson, whether you like him or not, used the word transformational, right? Transformational. Spurs going down is transformational. Off the bat, we will lose 250 million in revenue. Like that is, think about that. That's £250 million revenue overnight. Like that's mad. There will be no European revenue. There will be no European revenue. He's going to go into it. There's like 45 million in TV revenue. So I think it's catastrophic. I see people over the internet saying Savva wants relegation. I'm like, no, I'm at the top of that list of somebody who does not want relegation. I think fans are getting involved in their emotions rather than using this that want to go down. It's awful to go down. Will it be the reset some of us want? Maybe, but at what detriment? Right? At what detriment? Mr. Super Lone Star said, Savva, when you say those that want relegation should really think about what they want, you're missing a point. None of us have a choice. You have a choice whether you actively want to go down or not. Of course you do. What a silly thing to say. We don't decide what happens, but actively saying you want to go down, that's weird, right? That's odd. We're going to listen to Stefan Borson talk about it. Yeah, absolutely. Major sponsors, deals. Honestly, it's crazy. Yes. As I said, Sam Smith, don't start doing it. What did I say just now? I said there's probably a very small percentage that do. Some fans do deserve it. In the main, most Spurs fans don't. But there are some Spurs fans that show the arrogance, right? That show the arrogance. They show arrogance constantly. This is somebody that shows arrogance. All our players are better than Villa's. All our players are better than Chelsea's and Newcastle's and Man United's and Forest's and Fulham. Like, it's relax. You're seeing they're not. Look at the thumbnail of this show. Right, I'll tell you what, I'll show you for anyone who can't see it. Well, you should be able to see it. Look, here you go. This is what my thumbnail guy gave me, right? Now, if you look here, look at the two tables, right? 24-25 and 25-26. Look where Spurs are circled in both tables. 17th. That should tell you that we are not very good. That should tell you we are not very good, but it's okay to keep plodding. What word was I going for there? Putting your head in the sand. It's okay to keep putting your head in the sand. But when this is a number of years in a row, it stops becoming an anomaly and it starts becoming the norm. Again, our players are better than 16th. Prove me wrong. Well, I absolutely have, right? As I said, now Everton and Forest are below Tottenham because they have had point deductions. That is free. By the way, that is 3 years to today. That is 3 years to today. Let that sink in. That is 3 years to the day that Conte made his rant. There's your proof. There's your proof. Right? There's your proof. Bearing in mind, as I said, Everton and Forest are below us because of point deductions that they've had, not because of points on the pitch. There is your proof. Now, when people say, prove me wrong, here it is. This is 3 years to the day, right? This is 3 years to the day. This is 1,095 days of evidence. 3 years of evidence. Okay, cool. So let me ask this question then. I've just shown you evidence. Now show me evidence. That's not evidence. That's a feeling. Show me evidence. Show me evidence. Now, this is the thing. This is why, as I said, fans like Marios deserve it because they're not getting it. They're not understanding, right? They're not understanding how bad it is. As I've said, so many YouTubers I see that go, no, these players are much better, much better. Give me evidence. Well, give me evidence. No, you can't. I'm giving you factual evidence, not my evidence. I'm giving you evidence. 3 years of evidence, right? 3 years of evidence. 3 whole years of evidence. Nah, not enough. It's not enough for some fans. Show me more. What more do you need? What more do you need? And if I'll tell you what, when we bring that up, right, break this down. Look actually how far we are behind Fulham. Brentford, Palace, Bournemouth, Brighton, all these clubs that our fans belittle. Look how far below them we actually are. Like, all right, it's 13 points below Fulham and Brentford. 13, right? So we're still 5 games behind those guys over 3 years. We're 6 games behind Palace, 7 games behind Bournemouth. It's absolutely mental. And it doesn't matter, as I said to you a million times, it doesn't matter how much evidence is put in front of people. They don't want to believe it. They just won't believe it, people. I didn't make this up. This isn't my evidence. This is, for anyone that's not listened to me, this is 3 years to the day that this chap did this.
Because it's time to change the situation if Tottenham wants to change. If they want to continue in this way, they can change manager, a lot of manager, but the situation cannot change, believe me. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
3 years to the day. 3 years to the day that man did that. And again, as I said on yesterday's show, take them out. Take out your feelings for Conte. Take out whether you like his football or not. Take out whether you think he was right or wrong, what he said. 3 years to that day, 3 years to that day, that is what this football club has come up with. That. Look how many, look around us as well, by the way. Look at the number of draws. Even Everton, 35 draws. We got 22. Look at the number of defeats. 54 defeats. Only Wolves, right? Only Wolves have lost more games than Tottenham in 3 calendar years. But these players are better than we think. I can't do it anymore. I do not live in denial, right? I do not live in denial. There is your evidence. Here it is. Now, if anyone wants to counter that with any evidence, please do. Show me the factual, not feelings. Show me the evidence, right? But this isn't how football works. You build a squad for a reason. You build a squad for a reason. Every football club every year could say, oh, but if that player wasn't injured for 3 months, would we have been 7th or 12th? That's not how it works. You build a squad. Spurs knew these players were out injured, and we did nothing to build. We did nothing to build. This is have you noticed it's always, right, guys, right, I'm trying to give you a chance, Sam, you and Marios, but notice that it's always you two going against me. I didn't bash him for the rant. The rant was absolutely fine. The rant was fine. There's no problem with the rant. This was a manager who wanted out. You could see it for years. There is no problem with the actual rant. But this is what I mean. People like Sam Smith now, because what they don't want to do is go, oh yeah, you're right. You're right. They don't want to say, oh, actually, yeah, that evidence is right. They're now finding everything to go against it. I don't care about Conte per se. I'm just saying that has been 3 years since that day. 3 years since that day is today, the 26th of March, 2023 to the 26th of March, 2026. Right? We could do this for another year, people, right? There will still be this small section of fans that don't want to look at the evidence because it's so much better to go, but they're better than we're seeing. I'm watching a Christian Romero, for example, who gets praised. He is awful. This last 3 or 4 months, he has been atrocious. But he's better than we're seeing. Is he? So, evidence is a very important thing. It's a very important thing. My mum always taught me, right? The intelligent ones understand, those that don't, right? She always taught me that. And what you're seeing is certain people in the chat that because they don't want to admit to themselves that the club's a shit show. I'm a better fan because I don't believe your evidence. I'm a better fan than you, Savva. you're negative, Savva. No, I don't make up that data. That data exists. If you have one bad year, you go, it's a bad year. If you have 3 bad years, you go, shit, something's not right. Deep in the club, deep. All year you hear, well, it was Paulinho and Bentancur. Okay, so now we're playing Grand Sarr every game and we still can't win in a game for love nor money. So Sarr and Gray and Paulinho and Bentancur, it doesn't matter who you put in. It doesn't matter who you put in. These players aren't good enough on a consistent basis to get result after result after result. Bigger clubs see that early doors with their players. We don't seem to, as a collective, we don't seem to. As a collective, we don't seem to acknowledge that. We want to bury our head in the sand, right? We want to bury our head in the sand and we want to blame everything but the actual problem, which is the football club. No. Again, people are not, I'm not discounting injuries. I'm not discounting injuries. Injuries play a part, but this is why clubs have a squad. Spurs last year saw a full-on injury crisis and this summer decided to do nothing about it. Spurs had a full-on injury crisis and in January decided to do nothing about it. Mate, you can fuck off. I don't need you here. My style of YouTubing is I speak to my chat. If you don't like it with your stupid name and no picture, go away. How's that for you? See you later, mate. Would you want me to be one of those YouTubers who just completely ignores their chat? Andy, this is the problem, right? I think I've overestimated over the last few years some of these players. I think I have as well, if I'm honest. When I've said, oh, I think this squad could finish 10th or 11th or 7th, I think I've overestimated as well. Because every year they show me that it doesn't matter who plays, we're not very good. Then what happens, Andy? We all know what happens, mate. Spurs win a game and everyone goes, see, the players are better. It's like, oh my God, yeah, they're not. Like, I can't give the data in any clearer evidence than this. 41 wins out of 117 games. Let's have a look at what percentage that is. Percentage. So Spurs have won 35% of our games in 3 years. 35%. 35%. 35%. That is crazy. No, Sam Smith, right, one more and you're gone. That's not what I said. It's not what I've... Again, stop this nonsense, Sam. You're going to go. I don't know. I don't understand. I unblock you. I let you back in and you just can't stop being a twat. Just stop. I never, ever said it's all the players' fault under Ange. At all. I don't rate Ange as a manager. But last year, I said the same thing about Romero, the same thing about Udogie, the same thing about Bentancur, the same thing about Graham Bergvall. Stop this. I hate the lies. Stop this. One more, you're gone. This is... Have you know anything I say? I can sit here and say it is Thursday. That idiot who go... And then he tells you, I'm not a child, I'm 37. Look how he converses. He can't have a football conversation without trying to get an I told you so. But he's wrong in his I told you so's. I get it from Marios. Marios is a spotty teenager with no life experience. I get it. I get it from him. But Sam Smith reckons he's 37. Show me where I've said these players are good. Show me. It's funny. I get told by YouTubers like Sean and Stell and Lubo that I'm harsh on the players. And then I get these viewers I get these viewers then going, oh, but you said it was this. It's like, well, which one is it? Which one is it? Right? What did I say, this or that? Make your minds up. It can't be both. Absolutely ridiculous. Again, Jamie's going to join in. I blamed Ange last year for keeping us wide open every game. Yes. I think you've got to make yourselves hard to beat. Do I blame Ange for the players that are brought in? No, because we are terrible. We are terrible in recruitment. Do I blame Ange for buying loads of kids? No, because we are terrible in recruitment. I don't like Ange as a manager. I don't understand how people don't get this. There is a huge difference. Cheers, Jordan. I'll come back to that in a second. Honestly, I was speaking to Perchy backstage. He said the lack of critical thinking from so many viewers on YouTube is really concerning for the IQ of the world. The lack of critical thinking. Me not liking Ange isn't me blaming Ange for everything at Tottenham Hotspur. Right? Me not rating Romero like everyone else doesn't mean I think he is at fault for the last 3 years of form. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy how people can't decompartmentalize conversations. It's truly, truly concerning. Right? It's truly concerning. You have an opinion on a player. Oh, you've got a narrative. What? Why? No one can explain that. You've got an agenda. Why? Why would I not want this player I don't rate to be amazing? It doesn't make sense. I don't care if a player I don't rate goes on to be brilliant for Spurs and I'm wrong. Brilliant. That benefits Tottenham. I'm an adult. All of this stupid, you just don't want to be wrong. Who cares? If Archie Gray goes on to be the greatest midfielder Tottenham have ever seen, why do I care that I didn't rate him when he was 18 and 19 and 20? Why do I care? People really need to grow up. And I know the content's got a content, but people have got to grow up a bit. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous how we operate, right? It's so madness. It's a narrative. It's an agenda. Why? What do people think that at the beginning of the season, I go, which players shall I not like this year? Oh, it's Bentancur. I don't rate him. He's the one this year. Why? Like it makes no sense, right? What happens is people seem to tie their flag to a mast, i.e., they find a player, they go, this is the one, this is the one. They tie their flag to it, and then whatever happens, they're amazing. For me, show me. Show me under a number of years. Show me over a number of, at least give me 6 months of really good performances so I can go, something there. What we do in this fan base, because we're so starved, someone has a good game. Look, Gray had a very good game against Atletico. People are ringing up TalkSport, saying he's going to be the next Declan Rice, saying he's going to be England captain. You're like, hang on, when did the world go like this? So-and-so has great game, pedestal. Let him do that every week. Show us every week. Right? Like just relax. But people don't want common sense conversation. They want, you've got a narrative. You're biased. You've got an agenda. These are just all stupid words for something that doesn't mean anything, right? I don't particularly rate Matisse Tell. I think I don't see what he does as a footballer. When we go to play Sunderland, if Spurs win 3-0 and Matisse Tell scores a hat-trick, fucking get in there. Absolutely. I don't want him to not score goals and not assist because I don't rate him. It's madness. I'm also open to having my mind changed. If over time evidence presents itself, change your mind. Change your mind. But anyway, I'm going to show you the Stefan Borson interview. And I think this is very interesting. You know, I think this is very interesting. By the way, somebody said to me yesterday, one of my mates, he's not on YouTube, he said, I watch your shows. And he said, I cannot believe that your fans watch crap after crap after crap, year after year after year, and still have the arrogance to go at other clubs, right? Right? Still have the arrogance to go after other clubs, still have the arrogance to bury their head in the sand. He can't get it. He can't get it. Marios, one more, you're gone. Yeah, last year we had Maddison, Son, Kulu, and Solanke up top. Yes, we did have a better team than 17th. Yes, we did. What's your point? This year, I think we've got a better team than 17th. The problem is all of our attacking players are out injured. Does that mean I think we've got a good squad? No. Does that mean that I think we've got square pegs and square holes? No. I said in the summer to people like you that loved the transfer window, we've not bought a left winger. We've not bought a playmaker. We've not bought a top striker. We've not bought wingers. We've not got another left-footed centre-half. We've not bought fullbacks. People like you told me it was a great window. Told you, we've left gaps everywhere. So again, Marios, grow the fuck up. You're turning into an absolute idiot lately, mate. Please, you're turning into an idiot. Everyone's starting to hate you. Sorry, I'm going to say it. Everyone's starting to hate you. We're in a relegation battle 2 years in a row, and idiots like that still can't see the truth. They can't get it. They can't get it. He's got one more stupid comment and he's gone. Big up to my man, Jordan Coys. Thank you very much, Jordan, for your generosity. Said in the last 3 years, Wolves have lost more Premier League games than anyone else, 62. Yet in that time, our misunderstood superstars haven't even beaten them once. That's how bad we've been. Jordan, this is what I mean. But these players are better. But they consistently don't win games. But they're better, but they're better, but they're better. It's absolute madness, Jordan. As I said, showed everyone there, right? As I said, other than, let me get rid of that. Thank you, Jordan. Thank you so much. Other than Wolves, no other team has lost more games in 3 years. But don't worry. Don't worry. Don't let the truth hurt. Don't let the truth hurt. Thank you so much, Jordan. Really appreciate it. It's very generous. And Ralph said, Seb Martin and Ben Bowman, who believe he's put the team no matter what was. Seb Martin. Look, I'm not going to talk about other content creators. I don't know them. Look, each to their own. Everyone can support the club how they want. But all I know is I feel like we're sticking our head in the sand, mate. Look, I can't tell anyone else how to support. I don't know Seb. I don't know Ben. I'm sure they're lovely blokes. I've got nothing against them. Never had a problem with either of them. I don't agree with a lot of what Ben Bowman says, but he's doing his thing. He's getting his gigs. Fair play to him. I've got no problem with him at all. You know. So anyway, let's have a look now at let me have a look at what he said. By the way, big up says Savva, you're right. Players have got to this level because they are good. What makes players great and worth stupid money is that, yeah, listen, consistency. Yeah, good players are consistent. Right? Good players are consistent. We have the ability to win the odd game. We beat Atletico and everyone goes, oh, see, we're amazing. We beat Man City, beginning of the season, we're amazing. It doesn't work like that. Good players do it week in, week out. Yeah, good players do it week in, week out. AWR says, but that don't show the whole problem, Savva. If the team is not set up right from the managers, they will struggle to get the best out of them. I completely agree with you. I completely agree with you. And this is why I think I've not ever said it's just the players. I think there's a lot going on here. But also, I think you've got to give the managers the tools they need. You know, we started this season without tools that we need. We started this season with one right winger, no left wingers, no ball playing midfielders, no left back, no proper right back. You know, I completely agree with you. This is my point. Everything at Tottenham is rotten. It's not just the players, but the players seem to get off scot-free. Every time we play a team, people go, let's do a combined 11. And they go, oh, 7 or 8 Spurs. Watch when we play Sunderland. Oh, 7 or 8 of ours get in. Doesn't matter if we lose the game. We'll just again, I can't believe we've lost to Sunderland. Yeah, completely. Right, let's have a look at this. We're gonna look at little bits of this as we go along, and we'll talk about little bits. What I will say is, please, I've put the link to the TalkSport video. It is in the chat if you want to watch the whole thing in full. So thank you, TalkSport, for this. This is a very, very interesting video for those that are not understanding just how detrimental relegation is. Here it is. Okay, let's go.
We're discussing Tottenham Hotspur and the battle that they face and the real prospect of relegation at the moment. Tottenham Hotspur, of course, a point and a place above the relegation zone. 7 games left to secure their Premier League status. If not, it will be a season in the Championship. Let's discuss Tottenham's finances now and what will happen if they do actually go down. We're joined by a friend of the network, sports lawyer Stefan Borson. Stefan, I know you.
So just so you know, so what I can't do, I can't play the whole thing. Without stopping and talking over it, right? Because of just because of the copyright laws, etc. But I can show you their content and commentate on it. Okay, so let's see what Stefan Borson's got to say. And when people are going, "Oh, Stefan Borson TalkSport," this is the reality of going down, whether people like the person or not.
You usually join Jim and Simon, so we'll try to go a little bit easier on you. Good to see you. Let's talk about the effect that relegation could have on Tottenham's finances if they do go down. How seismic are we looking at? I hear lots of figures being banded around. What are your kind of insights saying?
Look, I think seismic is the right word. I mean, it definitely will be the largest single year drop in revenue that any club probably in the world has had.
I mean, let that sink in. From the beginning, this will be the largest revenue drop in the world that any club has ever had. Right? Ever. Let that sink in. This is the largest revenue drop that any club has ever had. Think about it. For anyone out there that still wants relegation, this is not good.
In fact, it's not just in England. You are looking at something in the order of 200 to 250 million pounds of a drop. And ironically, it's going to be a drop off from this season, which, despite everything that's been going on the pitch, financially will actually turn out to be the record revenue year, and probably has been quite a profitable year, bizarrely, because you've had the combination of the historically well-managed wage bill and from the sort of remnants of the Daniel Levy era, combined with Champions League football, which is now, when you get to the round of 16, is worth close to £100 million when you add in match day revenue and the revenue from UEFA. So they've got this double whammy. If the worst does happen and they do get relegated, it's that double whammy of not just losing Premier League status, but also, of course, having no European football.
So I think that's really important, right? That people are not understanding again. It is the double whammy. It is the double whammy, right? You go down and you lose the Premier League revenue, but you've also then next year, you're not going to have European revenue. So he's saying it's okay that this year we've had record revenue, but when you go down, this isn't like if a Burnley go down, Burnley lose the Premier League revenue, but they've never had the European revenue that a club like Spurs rely on. The stadium was built with revenue from Europe in mind, and that he's going to go on to talk about that now, and that's the crazy thing, right? And that's why TalkSport called this the double whammy. Everyone's got to think about this, right? It is not just getting relegated. It is not just getting relegated. It is massive. If we go down, it is massive. Let's carry on.
Hi, Stefan. What is the normal strategy that clubs follow in these circumstances? Does it require a kind of fire sale of player trading in order to plug that revenue gap, or do owners usually step in? What's the normal approach, and what's the approach that hypothetically you would imagine Tottenham would pursue?
So this is an interesting one, right? Because now we're getting to the crux of, okay, if you are relegated, what are the instant things that need to be changed, right? So we're about to talk about player wages, player sales, how much money the club will have to put in out of their own pockets to keep everything ticking and sustainable. We're going to talk about staff losing their jobs. Like this is bad, right? You ready?
Yeah, so the first thing is the cost base, clearly. And we know from some of the reporting that they do have, again, another remnant of the Daniel Levy era. They do have wage decreases in the contracts if they are relegated. That should save, like for like, probably something in the order of 100 million.
I mean, look, let that sink in. And by the way, I have to keep stopping the video. 100 million on wage decreases. That's just in the players' contracts, right? 100 million in wage decreases just from the contracts. Let that sink in. That is absolutely huge, right? That is absolutely huge. Huge. Madness. And we may not recover for years and years and years. People aren't understanding that. It's the same people that don't understand it, right? Same people that are not understanding it each time.
Pounds off the wage bill. Of course, you're also going to want to cut the cost of some of the other highest earners anyway. Some of those players are going to want to leave. So that's the first thing you're going to look at. Clearly, there's going to have to be some cost adjustment in the rest of the organization. Now, we don't know how bloated the organization is, but clearly it's been set up for having Premier League football combined with non-football events, combined with European football. And what that typically means is that the organization is quite big in terms of people and wage cost and other operating expenses. So there's going to have to be an adjustment of that overall cost base. And unfortunately, it is likely to mean that some people will lose their jobs.
Now, I think that's really important, because when people say things like, oh, it's only 1 year away from the Premier League, we'll be fine, we're rich, we're the 9th richest club in the world, right? When people say that, listen to what he said. Spurs are set up by 3 revenue streams. Essentially, the 3 biggest revenue streams is going to be from Premier League revenue, European revenue, and event revenue, right? Now, if we go down, you lose the first 2. You lose the Premier League revenue, the European revenue, and you are left with the cost of events. As he's about to explain, the cost of these events, it costs Spurs a lot of money to put the event on. So when people just look and say, oh, we make 55 million a year in events, that's not profit. This is mad. And how sad. Let's take this away from football, right? Let's take this away from football. It's talking about the wider scale. How many people, the ordinary people, that would lose their job at Tottenham Hotspur? The ordinary people. You know, the people that keep companies ticking. You know, the office staff. Yeah, the chefs, the cleaners, all of these normal jobs. How many people are going to lose their income? So again, when people are telling you, just go down, ENIC might deserve it, but this is not just about ENIC. Look at the ramifications, right?
That's typically what has happened. The one club where it actually didn't happen, and probably the other largest spender that went down in Leicester City, of course, we know what happened consequentially from that situation, and they breached all sorts of PSR and P&S rules. So I think, you straight away look at cost cutting. straight away, there's probably going to be a perception with some people that Daniel Levy would have been a perfect person to handle the adjustment in the cost base. But ultimately, they're going to have some money put in at the top, as you say. There won't be enough cash to go around in all likelihood, because this is an organisation that, as I've said, is not set up for Championship football.
There you go. So again, this is what I mean. When you're trying to explain to people, we're not set up for Championship football. This club relies on the Premier League revenue. The size of that stadium relies on the Premier League revenue. And again, when people are saying things like this, right, no one's saying we can't get back up. That's not the point of this video. Again, it's always the same people, isn't it, that aren't getting it. No one's saying we can't do the same, but Sunderland, Newcastle and Villa did not have this amount of money that we do, in terms of we owe nearly £1 billion in stadium and player amortization. Our wage bills are £260 million a year. When these clubs got relegated, their wage bills weren't that. People are not listening, are they? They're not. There are so many that just can't quite. They can't look. They again, it's the same people, the Matts, the Sams. They can't wrap their head around how bad this is, right? They can't wrap their heads around how bad it is. And that is the worrying thing. And Stefan Borson later in this video is going to talk about, even if you go down and come back up, the long-term ramifications for that financially. And again, this is what these fans don't get. It's so crazy, right? It's so crazy. These people that have lack of understanding past the end of their nose. That's all right. We get relegated, we come back up. Sure, you come back up, but you come back up with worse players. You come back up with less money. You come back up, less players want to touch you. You come up, you've got no European revenue, right? These people don't get it. It's so crazy in this fan base, right? And I completely agree. I completely agree. We will be everyone's cup fine. Absolutely. Honestly, as I've said, the lack of critical thinking from football fans is crazy. Some fans, by the way, not the many. It is truly, truly worrying when they just say things like, don't worry, we're rich. Finance experts are sitting there and telling you how that doesn't matter if you go down. And our fans get, no, but we're rich. They're not understanding the rules of when you go down. I'm so worried. I'm so worried about our fan base.
It's set up to be, at very least, in the Premier League, and to have its up to 30 non-football event days. None of that comes cheap. It's good for revenue, but also it's an expensive operation to run.
We've seen other clubs like Manchester United cut costs like meals for their staff, and Tottenham are a club that provide that for every single member of staff as well. So as you rightly say, Stefan, there will be job losses, which is a terrible thing for the community if they do go down. Do they have any kind of financial headroom if they do stay up, though?
Yeah, I think if they stay up, they have already suffered a relegation of sorts for next season with the lack of UEFA competition. I think this is something that we will see over the next few months, because not only do we have this relegation issue at the bottom of the table, but we also have this relegation issue out of UEFA competition, and particularly out of the Champions League. And it's something that potentially one of Chelsea or Liverpool may suffer for next season.
See, and that's really important, isn't it? That's really, really important, is the amount of money you lose from coming out of the Champions League, not even into the Europa or the Conference, like the amount of money that's going to be lost. So you don't have that next year. You won't have that the year after, because you would have been in the Championship and not got back into Europe. Then when you come back up the year after, what's the guarantee you go straight back into competing for Europe again? So now you're looking at 3, 4, 5 years possibly where there's no European football, right? Please, bigger picture, fans. Like bigger picture. It is massive. It's massive. It's truly, truly worrying.
Because of the scale of the Champions League now, the sorts of numbers that you miss out on by not being in the Champions League are actually not far off what happens if you get relegated. The problem here is that clearly Spurs have got both if they do get relegated from the Premier League, and that's a lot to deal with. So, it's going to be, there's no question that there's going to be all sorts of challenges for them from the regulatory perspective, PSR, the UEFA tests if they get back into Europe in the next couple of seasons, and of course the Championship's P&S system as well. Now, we don't know what the Premier League system will look like on the squad cost ratios. We've got an indication of the perimeter of the rules, but we don't know the actual rules. So we'll have to see when and if they come back into the Premier League, how they're suited. The reality here is that the financial structure of Spurs next season in the Championship is just not going to look anything like what it looks.
Right. And that's the key sentence, right? That's the key sentence. For people just saying we're rich and we'll go down and come straight back up, literally said the structure of Spurs next year, if we go down, won't look anything like it does this year. And he also talked there about the rules, the financial rules in the Championship, is that you cannot make a loss of more than £15 million. So people are going, we're rich, just spend. It does not work like that in the Championship. You have to be clever. You have to bring in people that will get you out of that league. But then you've got to put them on 3-4 year contracts. Then when you go up, how do you get rid of them and buy in better players when you haven't got more money? There is so much to this. There is so much to this. We simply cannot go down. Every expert is telling you it's catastrophic, right? Every expert is telling you it'll be catastrophic, but there's some fans going, no, don't worry, parachute payments. I don't think they're understanding. We lose 250 million just in revenue. That's just in revenue. And in a minute, he's going to talk about sponsors and where else we're going to lose money, right? Where else? So, guys, honestly, all of this information is out there for anyone that wants to actually go and do their homework. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. We don't know the Championship either. We don't have director of football set up to get us out the Championship. We don't know how to get out that league. We don't know what players you need. Let's carry on.
Looks today, with that 250 loss, you're going to see losses. Clearly, you're going to see losses on match day revenue. There's going to be 23 Championship games. You will not be able to sell out all of the hospitality when you've got teams, possibly Lincoln City, Stevenage, these sorts of teams coming through the gate. They're going to be very lucky if they can get to £100 million of match day revenue when they're currently probably at about 140. They're going to lose 150 plus on broadcast revenue. And the big unknown here is what's going to happen to their commercial revenue.
Right. So before he talks about the commercial revenue, let that sink in. They're not even going to be able to sell out corporate hospitality for the big fees because the level of club coming to town, it's no longer Arsenal, City, Chelsea, Villa, Newcastle. It's Preston. No offense. It's Lincoln, right? It's Birmingham. This is, again, so you've lost 150 million in revenue, right? In league revenue. And now he's going to talk about, right? But again, look, sorry, Matt, again, it's just so arrogant. It's so arrogant, mate. You deserve relegation. I hope for you they get relegated. You deserve relegation. Look at the arrogance. There's no way we don't bounce back up. Right? No, Daniel, this isn't talk sport being doom and gloom. Yeah? It's not, again, someone else that deserves it. We're not learning. Look at the arrogance of the Spurs fans. Rather than being worried about what could happen, it's TalkSport. It's nothing to do with TalkSport. This man is telling you about the situations and the revenue within the Championship. Spurs have never gone down before. Burnley, they get it. Burnley know when they go down next year, they know exactly what they're going into. They know that league. Their owners know that league. They know how to operate. We've never been down there. We don't know what we're doing. Honestly, some fans, it's just truly baffling how arrogant they are. It's truly baffling.
And how long-term that hit on commercial revenue is going to be. They're going to go next season into a season, potentially in the Championship with no European football, where they're renegotiating a new front of shirt sponsor. We know, for example, that AIA are going to vacate that front of shirt product. We know from the Chelsea situation that it's not been that easy to sell it. But if you're trying to sell it as a Championship team and one that's not in Europe, it's going to be that much harder. And that's £40 million a season, perhaps even more.
Again, look, £14 million on sponsorship. And again, see, it's fans like this that are not getting it. See, I wish critical thinking existed. It's not about whether we can bounce straight back up. It's the financial ramifications for years to come. I don't understand how you're not getting that. I'm not saying we wouldn't be favourites, but it would depend on who we sell and who we buy. Right? None of you know, when we're all going, we'll bounce straight back up. None of you know what the squad's going to be if we go down. None of you know what the squad will be. I don't know what the squad will be. So how can I sit here and go, yeah, if we go down, we're definitely coming back up? Based on what? Based on what? These are the same fans that think we should just be top 4 every year. Other clubs have gone down before and struggled to come back up. It's not this simple. Right? Big boss man, see you later. It's going to timeout, idiot. This is, it's just it's the arrogance of the fans, the ignorance, the arrogance, just sitting there. It don't matter. It don't matter. It don't matter. We'll be favourites. All the experts are telling you what this means for the club. And they're just sitting there going, nah, exactly. Oh, Phil Coys, exactly. Yeah, we're favourites. You don't even know what the squad's going to look like. By the way, who were the favourites to go up this season? Who were the favourites? Leicester. Where are Leicester right now? Let's have a look. Right? Let's have a look. Let's see how arrogant this is. Not Leicester fans, by the way. Leicester City, 3rd bottom of the Championship. Right? Arrogance. Should we come back up? Yes. Will we? I can't sit here and say we will. Look how badly we're run. The very same owners that have done this to us, we are now just saying, we'll come straight back up. How do you know? Phil Coys, Matt, tell us, what's the squad next season if we go down? Who's a goal scorer next season? Who's your captain? Who are your centre mids? Who's the goalkeeper going to be? Who's the manager? Who's the director of football? You guys don't know. You don't know, but you're going, yeah, we'll come straight back up. We'll be favourites by name, right? Why? If we keep half this squad, which half are we keeping? And how have they ever done in the Championship before? How? Again, this is the point. The arrogance. If we keep half this squad are where we are for a reason. They're not good enough. Who? Who's the squad next year if we go down? Which players are you keeping that get us out the Championship? 46 games. 46 games. Honestly, the arrogance. I'm so worried about, as I said, sometimes in the title, Spurs fans deserve better. Some don't because of their arrogance. Some don't. I am truly worried. And absolutely, half this squad is the reason we're getting relegated. It's not saying we can't go up. But let me ask, I'm still waiting. Notice that Phil and Matt haven't given me an answer. Who's the manager if we go down? Who's the director of football? Who's the captain? Who's the goal scorer? Who's putting the squad together? What players are we buying? Right? Loads of these players can't stay fit. They've got to play more games next year in the Championship. They've got to play more games. And absolutely, Scott. Exactly. If half this squad what's the proof that any of these players can do it in the Championship? What's the proof? Exactly. And Sophie, who supports Newcastle, she's been relegated before. Exactly. They lost all their players and had to buy the likes of Dwight Gale, Jeff Hendrick. This is the thing. It's just arrogance, right? So I'm asking, notice, Phil, Coys and Matt, notice when you ask a question, Dominic Solanke is on 140, 150 grand a week. Would Dominic Solanke stay? Now, if he stays, yes, Dominic Solanke gets you 25, 30 goals. What if he doesn't? Who scores the goals? What if he doesn't? Who scores the goals? If you're Dominic Solanke at what, 28, 29, right? At 28, 29, you're not saying to your agent, I can't spend another year towards this age in my career in the Championship. This is the problem, right? I think players like Solanke will be gone. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't really rate Solanke as a Premiership striker. In the Championship, I think he'll outperform anyone, right? But again, notice, Matt, you can't answer a single question. No, you do this all the time. Answer. Who's the manager if we go down? Who's the director of football that knows that division that gets us out of it? What players are we keeping? What players are we bringing in? No, again, I don't know how people critical thinking. Listen to what I'm saying. I didn't say we can't come straight back up. Honestly, it's like talking to children. You can't do it. Phil, you don't know this. But again, you don't know this. Again, look at the copium. Do you not think Dominic Solanke is in an England squad right now and we think that he's going to want to stay and play in the Championship? Sorry, you don't think that a club that even gets promoted that says that we want you to come in, be on 100 grand, right? I don't need to clarify. See you later. You're rude every time you come in here. See you later. Right? Do people not get this? I'm genuinely worried that people don't understand how many of these players are going to leave if we go down. I genuinely don't understand how fans are not understanding this. Richie's gone anyway. Solanke will want to go. Mawani is not ours. Now we've got no strikers. Who trusts Spurs to go out and find a striker that gets us out of the Championship? Who trusts it? I don't. Right? The only way that Kulu or Maddison stay is if one of them is if they're injured. Because they're on 150, 160 grand a week. Right? You can't have players on 150, 160 grand a week in the Championship. The only way will be is if they're injured and no one wants to buy them. Kudus, can't afford to keep him in the Championship. He's on like 150 grand a week. Conor Gallagher, we can't keep players on 150 grand a week. Basuma's going. Gallagher will be gone. Bentancur will be gone. Sure, but they're going to put in transfer requests, aren't they? Whether we want to keep them or not. The players, they might have it in their contract, but how many of them do you think are going to sit there and go, yeah, I've gone from 150 to 75 grand a week. I don't want to stay in the Premier League. We should be worried. We should be very worried. Very worried. And this is the concern. See, clubs like Wolves, clubs like Burnley, those clubs, Leeds, they get that league. They're set up for it. Their players aren't on the salaries we're on. Their players are mostly ready for the Championship. You look at Wolves. Look at Wolves. The players they bought in January were already looking forward to the Championship. Adam Armstrong will score goals for them next year in the Championship, won't he? Adam Armstrong will score goals for Wolves next year in the Championship. They bought him in the January, ready for the summer. They're not silly. They know that league. They know that league. Let's go back to Stefan Borson. Honestly, I get it, Phil, but it's just the arrogance. It's like all year, every game you say, we're winning this one, you're winning this one. All year you've told me how good the players are and we're going to win this game and win this game and win this game. And we're wrong. Every week we're wrong. as a collective, we're wrong every week about how good we are. And then if we get relegated, yeah, don't worry, we're all right. Now, we better bloody hope we come straight back up. But the ramifications are huge. Absolutely huge. Huge. So let's break this down. Why is Gray and Bergvall? You keep telling me these two are absolutely brilliant. Why are they staying in the Premier League if they're that good? Sorry, why are they going to the Championship if they're that good? Why? You keep telling me how great Gray is. A future England captain, you said yesterday. Why is he going to the Championship? Is that his level? Is no one going to come in and buy him? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Let's go to Stefan Borson.
So you may well see not just the hit one season, even if they come back, but there may be this tail impact, particularly on the commercial side, that might hurt them for a while. And that's then when you get into challenges with the regulation and the headroom and PSR and the replacement squad cost ratio.
Stefan, there's been so much speculation for years at Tottenham about a potential sale. And ever since Daniel Levy's dismissal in September, the Lewis family have been very, very clear about this, that they don't want to sell the club. They want to continue to run the club. What do you think, if they were to be relegated, how much of an impact do you think it would have on valuations of the club and on whether or not investors would see it either as like a good thing to pursue, or do you think investors might be a bit scared off because it would be proven that Premier League football is no long-term guarantee there?
Yeah, I think this is one of the big issues that Premier League clubs have got generally. This sort of situation was not meant to happen. We were not meant to have Spurs as a team in relegation trouble, or worse, actually getting relegated. The whole point of those teams at the top of the table was that they could offer investors a stability where the only risk really was how far you would get in the Champions League. Now, that illusion is now gone. Clearly, we have a number of teams that are trying to get into the Champions League. But to actually fall all the way down such that you're actually being relegated is a big shock, and it will have an impact on the valuation of Spurs, not just in the short term.
Right. So now we're talking about the valuation of Spurs. So one of the things I keep seeing is, well, if we go down, it will make Enoch sell. I can tell those people have never been in business in their life. Let's watch this.
But in the long term, because what you end up having is it moves Spurs from a club that will try and sell itself as a Premier League franchise in the American sense, and it moves them into a club that may or may not even be in the Premier League. And from a valuation perspective, that is transformational. So I think it is a big impact. And it is ironic that it's come at a time when I think the key driver to the removal of Daniel Levy from a financial sense was to loosen the purse strings. And actually what's ended up happening is the consequences of and what's going to follow is they're not going to have the choice to loosen the purse strings. They're going to have to tighten them even more. And they're going to have to reset because, as I say, the commercial revenue, which is a key driver to why a third party might be interested in buying Tottenham Hotspur, is going to be damaged, I think, over a longer term period than either the match day or the broadcast revenue. Because, for example, if they get promoted straight away, of course, the Premier League money comes straight back. So no major issue there. You would think there's a very strong chance that the fans, on the back of momentum of a promotion, will support the club extensively back in the Premier League, and the place will sell out again. So again, they will recover on a match day as well. But on the commercial side, there's going to be a lot of damage here probably because the way that the negotiations work, the fact they're going to have to accept some short-term deals potentially, and the general damage to the brand as being one of the most successful clubs. So the short answer is, I think if they are going to hold themselves to a very high valuation, a valuation that actually, by the way, hasn't been achieved even when they were successful, I think they can forget about selling the club. I just don't. I mean, they're saying they don't want to sell the club, but clearly they do have to deal with the ownership.
See, so essentially the value of the club takes a hammering if we go down. So all of this, it will make Enoch sell. It's the same as, why would you sell your house when a market has crashed? If the housing market, if I want to sell my house not right now, would I do it when the market's at its best or when it crashes? Like, it's crazy. So again, it makes them here for a while. Look, I think it's interesting, right? Some of the comments I've read, like, it's mad, isn't it? One day you're told that Bergvall and Gray are amazing. The next day we're told they're going to play for us in the championship. If Gray and Bergvall are that good, why aren't they asking their agent to leave? Do you know what I mean? If they're that good, why would they not ask to leave? Why would they play in the championship? If they play in the championship, just goes to prove my point. They're championship footballers, right? But honestly, it doesn't matter how much someone like Stefan Borson, whoever, all of the other podcasts that talk about the finances and the ramifications can say it. But still, we just bury our head in the sands. By the way, next year, do we think a midfield of Gray and Bergvall gets us out the championship? No seniority, no experience. Do we believe that? Right? Do people believe that? What I did the other day, I don't know if any of you saw, we actually looked at the top three in the championship. Hardly any of them there's hardly any young players in any of the teams. There's hardly any young players in any of the teams that are chasing for promotion. Coventry didn't have anyone under the age of 24 in their team. Didn't have anyone under the age of 24, right? No one under the age of 24. Middlesbrough, the youngest they had, I think, in the team in the most part was Hayden Hackney at the age of 23. He was probably their best player. You don't come out the championship by playing loads of 19, 20-year-olds. It's crazy. You don't. You bring experience in. You bring people that know how to get out of the championship. You bring people who know how to get out of it, because it's not just about ability when you go down. It's about mindset, experience, knowing how to manage 46 games, knowing how to manage that league and the occasion. Every team that comes to White Hart Lane, it will be a cup final. Every time Spurs go to their ground, it will be like a giant killing if they beat us. Again, it's huge. Look at when Villa went down. Villa had to bring in people into their midfield like Conor Hourihane, John McGinn. Like, they brought in fighters and workers, right? They brought in experienced pros that can manage that scenario. But we just go, oh, don't worry. If we go down, you've got Odeberg and you've got Gray and Burke. You're going to have to bring in loads of experience around them from that league. Right? You've got to bring in lots of experience in that league. We don't have that. And I don't know who they're going to put in charge from a director of football perspective that knows that league. There's so many moving parts to this. So many. So many. Well, again, that's a good point, right? If you get relegated, Enoch can either sell it at, the value that is probably half of what it is now, or try to get back in the Premier League to increase the value again. But even when they do, we won't be a European club. We won't have the sponsorships. So the value of the club for years won't be able to get back to where it would have been this year if they had sold it. It's crazy. They should have sold it. Yeah, sorry, Rob, but it's a real thing now, right? It's a real thing. Listen, I agree that I think Archie Gray's perfect for the championship. But when I say that this year, everyone has a go at me. But now all of a sudden, he's the guy to get us out of the championship. Which one is it? I don't know. I don't think I think the reason we're in this position is because we keep signing players that aren't ready for the Premier League yet. For me, obviously, if Gray wants to stay, you keep him. But everyone's waxing lyrical about Gray. If you're Gray and you believe you're that good, aren't you turning around to your agent and going, oh, get me out of here? Exactly. Our youngsters can't get games for these teams, right? That's the point. That's the point. See, again, just being an idiot. You can say thank God for fans like that because you don't want harsh reality. This is the problem, right? We don't want harsh realities. When you're saying thank God for people like Phil Coys is the one that wants to buy all these bad players that have us in relegation battles. That's the problem. But thank God for Phil Coys. Fans like him want to sign these poor footballers. Some of us don't. I don't think many of them stay. I don't, Ian. Let's finish off watching and then we'll talk about it. Big boss man, you're just going to go down. I'm just getting blocked every time. You're not learned. What I love about these trolls that get blocked is they don't learn. They come back and then they just say something stupid, right? They just say something stupid. But you don't know that we won't go down at the moment. I'm saying the reality could be a real thing. I don't understand. Again, critical thinking. You will not go down. I hope not. But how do you know? How do you know? We've not won. We've not won for 13 games. Arrogance again. Oh, mate, I've seen the players you rate. It's embarrassing, Phil. We've had this chat face to face. You rate some truly average footballers. All of our fan base does. It's worrying. Oh, how very wrong you are. Oh, how very wrong you are. Players under contract don't have any power. Spurs will have to get rid of most of them because of that. And they're going to put in transfer requests. I don't know how people don't get this. Maybe some will go on loan. Make good point, Alfie. Maybe some will go on loan. If we can get the wages off the books, maybe. But then how many of those do we want to go on loan and come back again when we're back in the Premier League? I don't know. Again, somebody again who doesn't understand. No, views won't go through the roof if we get relegated. No. You think the views in the Championship are going to be as good as in the Premier League? Again, use your brain. This is the problem. People have no critical thinking. No critical thinking. No critical thinking. I'm telling you, right? This is a real big issue in our fan base. There's no critical thinking. You think views will go through the roof? Views will go through the roof for about a week when we get relegated. And then after that, people are going to not care about Tottenham. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous, the things that people say. Absolutely, Mark. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm not picking any of our midfielders over theirs. Absolutely. But again, you get stupid people that deserve, as I said, people like Matt deserve relegation because what's his response to you? Mark Taylor, you're being Sidney, Anderson, Defo, the others are arguable. Look how they dominated our midfield the other day. Look how they dominated our midfield at the City ground. But we won't learn. Absolutely, Matt. Absolutely. Look, I'm just trying to bring some sort of reality here as to what happens if we go down. Sure. You know that we won't go down. Well, oh, there you go. This guy said we definitely won't. Have you seen who we've got left? We can't win a game for love nor money, mate. Again, the arrogance. The arrogance. Have you seen who they've got left? What do you mean? Have you seen who we've got left? We can't beat anybody. We haven't won for 13 games. Again, yeah, it's never the players, is it? It's never the players. It's never the players. It's never, ever the players. Never the players. We didn't play a two-man midfield when we played them at Forest. Why did they beat us 3-0 there as well? Could it be that Forest have a better midfield than Spurs? Shock, horror. Could it be that? Could it be that those of you that rave about the SARs and the Greys, they're actually not as good as you think? Could it be that? No? I don't know. Let's finish off Stefan Borson for the last few minutes.
Issue with Daniel Levy. So I think something does have to give on that side. But I would fully expect the club now to have to reduce effectively its asking price. And I think that's just a natural consequence of, frankly, potentially, even if they don't get relegated, it's pointing the valuation down. And frankly, there are other places people can spend their money.
Stefan, does this qualify as negligence from the ownership?
Well,
now, this is the question I liked when they said it, right? Does this qualify as negligence from the ownership? I'll let you lot all say, right? I'll let you lot all say.
I think it's hard to say that it's a negligence. We talk and we have spoken a lot over the years about how sort of from a percentage perspective, how low the wage bill is compared to what they generate on the top line, and of course they are one of the lowest spenders relative to their turnover. But we shouldn't lose sight of the fact that the club still had a wage bill last season for numbers that we actually know, audited numbers of about £250 million, which still had them with more spend on the first team squad than any of Inter, AC Milan, Borussia Dortmund, Atletico Madrid. That amount of money in wage bill and the money that's spent in terms of transfer fees should suffice in terms of getting the club at least into the European places, and shouldn't have led to them being down at the bottom. So
now he makes a good point, because we have spent a lot of money, but he also makes a good point that they've spent it poorly and the decision making has been bad, whether it's negligence or not, as he says. And again, this is how you can tell, right? This is how you can tell idiots don't listen. As he said, he's rationalizing. I know that people like Matt aren't very clever, but they don't get it. Listen to what Stefan Borson's saying. Well, on the one hand, the club have spent a lot of money, so they shouldn't be where they are. But on the other hand, they've made loads of bad decisions. So he's saying it's hard to tell if it's negligence, right? But again, honestly, it's absolutely mad.
I think from a negligence perspective, it's very much been on the football side as opposed to more generally within the organisation. I think it's very hard to say that the ownership have not provided enough financial support for the management teams that they've had, but clearly they've made bad choices in terms of the managers and the players that they've acquired. And that's really, I think, if you talk, I think negligence is probably the wrong word, but that's clearly where the underperformance has come.
Right. And this is the point, right? This is the... Oh, hang on. Let's get rid of that. This is the point. There are so many things wrong with Spurs. There are so many things wrong with Spurs. Owners, managers, players, lack of planning, directors of football, so many things wrong with Spurs. But what we do know is that we are in this mess. This mess is real. I go on shows every day where people are going, yeah, but you wanted this manager, you wanted this player, you wanted. But you didn't say it was used wrong. Everybody, I've just caught out Matt. Matt says on paper, we're brilliant. Which one is it, mate? You say on paper, we're brilliant. You say every week we're going to win because the players are good. So how's it been spent wrong? I don't understand, right? On one hand, the players are really good. On the other hand, it's been spent wrong. Which one is it? This is somebody in the summer said it was the best summer we've had. This is someone in the summer who said, what a top transfer window Tottenham have had. Now it's been spent wrong. Right? Not what you were saying in the summer. Sorry, mate. You don't get to do that. Look, this is a very real situation. I just saw a comment there that I liked, right? It was, where is it? Where is it? Let me see if I can find it. Oh, where is it? Somebody in here said, I know, Dan, absolutely. Yeah, Gray, Sarr and Bergval, yeah, are better than Gibbs, White, Anson and Sangare. And this is the problem, Dan. I am taking that latter three every time. Every time I'm taking Sangare, Gibbs, White and Anderson. And we're still sitting here going, oh, I don't know. I think Gray gets in. Like, that's where we're at. Right? That's where we're at. I can't find the comment, but someone actually said, I can't see it now. Someone said, what has anyone seen in the last 13 games to seriously sit there and say, we definitely won't go down? How are we not worried? How is every Spurs fan not shitting their pants? Mate, I'm worried. I'm worried. We've bit off more than we can chew. And absolutely wanted Tyler Dibbling. Absolutely. Absolutely. So Matt wants Gray to be the main man in midfield. He wanted Tyler Dibbling. Then thinks Spurs can buy Bastonis. He doesn't understand the club or football. You can see it a million miles off. Paul has said basically it's on Lang and Vinay's head because they wanted to buy young, unproven players. Lang needs to go. But this isn't just 1 year, Paul. And Vinay's only been here 1 year. Is he part of the problem? Sure. Right? Sure. But what about all the years under Levy? This is the squad Levy built, by the way. Bang on, Ash. I'm taking their back four over our back four as well. We just don't want to believe it because it's Romero, because it's Van der Ven. Listen, as a partnership, I'm taking Murillo and Van der Ven all day, every day. Now, I agree with that. The owners do, but we don't, right? Most of us don't. The owners do. Most of us don't. Mate, Flicks, me as well. Me as well. I'm worried. I'm really worried, Flicks. Listen, this could all go away. Beat Sunderland, beat Brighton. Happy days. But we've been saying that for months, haven't we? We've been saying that since December. Don't worry. It's only them. It's only Wolves next. It's only Palace at home. It's only Fulham away. It's only Nottingham Forest at home. Remember these people? Nottingham Forest are woeful. The same people now saying our players get instead. Nottingham Forest are woeful. They look a football team. They look a football team. I agree with you. I think VDV's a good player. I think on his day he has great games. But again, already fans put him up there. Fans put him up there. Look, in January we had a chance, right? In January we had a chance. Didn't do anything. And people made it about Frank. It wasn't about Frank in January. It was about Tottenham Hotspur. It was about getting players for this club. Again, Forest could still go down. Forest could still go down. No one's saying that they won't 100% stay up, that they will 100% stay up. But right now, if I'm looking at them and us, I would favour them. Wouldn't you? I know, Matt, but you're a contrarian. Have you noticed anything anyone says, you go against them? On paper. You keep saying how great the players are. Then you just said the owners were negligent and have spent it wrong. I'm confused. Which one is it? Are the players good or have they spent it wrong? I'm really confused, mate. That's why people get frustrated. That's why people get frustrated, because you go against the grain on everything and anyone in here. Everyone and anyone in here. You go against. You want people like Tyler Dibbling, mate. Why on earth would any Spurs fan want Tyler Dibbling? Like, it's mad. No one knows, Sam. No one knows at the moment. No one knows, right? Maybe we get an answer today. Maybe we don't. By the way, when people get annoyed that I chat to the audience, the good, the bad, and the ugly, that's my style of YouTube. Surely people can see that by now after me doing this for 5 years. Surely. Well, Big Boss Man's going to go as well. There we go. Let's put him in a timeout. Keeps coming back. Keeps trying to mock me. See you later, mate. I don't believe this at all. I don't believe this at all. Again, I think we make excuses for the ones we want to make excuses for. They all have to take accountability. I don't think these two have ever been as good as people want to make them out to be. Look how many fans think that Romero's better than Saliba. It's mental. Every game, 10 games out of 10, who am I picking? Saliba or Romero? Saliba. Gabriel or Van de Ven? Gabriel. For me, they're not even close. It's not even close. Not even close. Absolutely. Right? Absolutely. The manager is important. But the problem is we're so far past this just being a manager, right? I don't disagree with you, but we're so far past this just being a manager. This squad has been put together for 6 different managers. Like 7, maybe. This is not a team that was built for a manager. This is 6 or 7 different managers worth of players. They weren't built for anything. They weren't bought for anything. You've got wing backs playing in a back 4. You've got no ball playing midfielders. There's no left wingers, but we play a 4-2-3-1. Like it's madness. It's madness. Absolutely madness. You've got to have an ethos, a philosophy, a structure. Let's get rid of Marius. I can't be dealing with him anymore. Sorry, mate. I gave you a chance. You're an idiot. See you later. I banned him. I just can't deal with it anymore. Marius and Matt, the same MO every week, isn't it? Come back, just say stupid shit all the time. Yesterday, I've got Matt in my chat telling me, just go and get Bastoni. Just go and get Bastoni, one of the best defenders in the world from one of the biggest clubs in the world. Just go and get Bastoni. He'll want to come in for our project. I love this. Savva, you're such a knob. Thank you. Are you really this bored you need to post on every Spurs site? I'm not on any Spurs sites. I'm on YouTube, mate. Let's have a look at Penfold. Let's see what Penfold said. Let's see which account this is. I love people like this. I mean, think about it, right? His post doesn't even make sense. Oh, sorry, Sam. He's calling out Sam. Sorry, I thought you said Sav. I'll take it back. My bad. Big up to you, brother. Sorry, my bad. It just makes me laugh, right? Like, honestly. Ash, exactly, Ash. Exactly, mate. Sorry, Penfold. Sorry, Penfold. Yeah, I know it says Sam. My bad. Much love. Sorry, my bad. Oh, yeah, if he's calling you a knob, yes. Honestly, I love these comments. Yesterday it was, just go and get Anthony Gordon, Tino Livramento, and Bastoni. But you suggest Bastoni. In what reality? Right? In what reality is Bastoni gonna entertain the idea of Tottenham Hotspur? But there you are going, yeah, we should be going for Bastonis. Sure. Yeah, it's only Barcelona that want him. Barcelona or Tottenham. Do we believe that if Bastoni is available on the market, that every top club across Europe doesn't go for Bastoni? It's truly worrying that this is the level of competence we've got and the conversation we're having. And this is, for me, this is where we're at in terms of, again, fans not understanding where we are and what we are. We're a big club. Yeah, but not big enough to take a Bastoni right now at the peak of his career. Right? And this is the thing. And as I said yesterday, Barnaby made a great point on Sean's show. He said, whenever we're linked with sensible players, our fans don't want them. Our fans don't want them. But that doesn't make sense. Why should we be buying players the level of Bastoni? Players the level of Bastoni don't want to join Tottenham. How are we not getting that? It's mad. Honestly, this is not Football Manager. This is not Football Manager, right? This is real life. Bastoni, listen, if I am wrong on this, fine. But in what reality, no matter who the manager is, what reality does Bastoni's agent picks up the phone, right, and says, oh, Tottenham, oh, that would be a good move for you. Yeah, they've only finished 17th twice. No, Matt, you're not. Dibbling is laughable. Like, dibbling is just silly. Dibbling is silly. Wharton, I would love Adam Wharton. Is he more gettable than Bastoni? Yes. I just think bigger clubs are going to want him. And I didn't suggest buying John McGinn again, so you're not getting it. I said we need a version of John McGinn. But you wouldn't want someone like John McGinn in Spurs midfield. You said he's not good enough for Tottenham. You actively said John McGinn is not good enough for Tottenham. He's about to captain Aston Villa to another Champions League qualification again, but not good enough for Tottenham. Like, let that sink in, mate. That's why you never, ever seem to be sensible. Like, you've gone from Tyler Dibbling, who's done nothing of any note in football, to Bastoni. Like, there's no middle ground with you. There's no sensible chat. John McGinn would be our best player if he signed for Tottenham. And by the way, I haven't said by John McGinn. Why would the Aston Villa captain leave Aston Villa to join Tottenham? He'd be mental. Like he'd be mental. Absolutely mental. Now, maybe if you try and go for a Bastoni when Tottenham are second, finishing second and challenging for leagues, sure. But he didn't even want to join Tottenham when Antonio Conte was here and we finished fourth, right? People have got to understand he's at a massive club. He's only going to leave probably for a massive club. Tyler Dibbling is at Everton. Sorry. Why didn't we go for Semenyo? We should have gone for Semenyo before everyone else wanted him. We waited until all the big clubs wanted him and then tried going for him. And he went, nah, I'm not going to Tottenham. Why? If you're Bastoni, be brutally honest, right? Why are you going to Tottenham? If you're Bastoni, why are you going to Tottenham Hotspur? Still, look, I stand by that. And this is why you get mocked. Right? Matoma, Ruben Neves, yes, but every club needs a John McGinn. Like, every club needs a John McGinn, but you said he's not good enough for Tottenham, and now you're saying you stand by that. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing, mate. Why is he not good enough for Tottenham? He's better than any central midfielder we've got, but not good enough for Tottenham. So that's why I say you're a contrarian. You just go against everything. Can I ask, I'll ask everyone in the chat and be brutally honest with me. Would John McGinn not be the best midfielder at Tottenham right now of all the midfielders we've got? Just a yes or a no. John McGinn, the captain of Aston Villa, who again fighting for a top four place like they have for the last 3 or 4 years. It's mad. It's absolute. It's so crazy to me. It's so, like when we talk about opinion, sure, there's opinion and then there's delusion. Right now, John McGinn would walk into our team as the best midfielder and be our captain. Like, and we've got fans going, no, I wouldn't want him. He's not good enough. He's not what we need to take us forward. So he's what Villa need to take them forward, but not what Spurs need. Mental. You deserve this, right? As I said, those are the fans that deserve this for me. Right? John McGinn is every bit the pro that every Premier League team needs. He's a battler. He's a fighter. He can pass. He gets forward. He gets back. You know what you're going to get from him every game. He's a captain. He's not what we need to take us forward. We're 17th. Oh, but Big Boss Man's going to go again. Look, he just keeps coming back saying stupid shit. Right? Yeah. Andy, this is what I mean, right? This is what I mean. Like, this guy would be our best. By the way, I never said buy John McGinn. I said we need to find our version of John McGinn. And Matt was going, oh, no, he wouldn't take us forward. We're 17th 2 years in a row. Don't worry, though. The Aston Villa captain, no, we don't want him. No, John, we don't want you. You're not good enough for Tottenham Hotspur. It's truly worrying. And then, in the same breath, go and get Bastoni. It's hilarious, isn't it? It's absolutely hilarious. Oh, here we go. He's back. One person said they don't rate McGinn equals entitled. No, I'm talking about Matt. Again, Big Boss Man. One more, you're gone for good. Have you noticed? Same person every time. Every comment is an attack on me. Idiot. Got no name, no picture. I tell you what. Start your own YouTube channel, Big Boss Man. Show your face. Go on, put your face on your thumbnail. Bet you won't. I bet you won't, because you don't want people to see what a dumb arse you are, right? So, listen, as I've said, I don't think in general the Spurs fans deserve this. I think there's a few that really, really do. The fans that we're better than Marcus Rashford, right? We're better than Marcus Rashford. We're better than Lookman. We're better than Akliouche. We're better than McGinn. I remember when we were linked with Nathan Ake. We're better than Ake. We're better than Locatelli. We're better than everyone, apparently. Those are the fans that I think deserve this. That's what I'll say. Those are the fans that I think deserve this. Because they overhype Spurs. We have a midfield of Sarr and Gray, but John McGinn doesn't take us to the next level. Right? Nathan Ake wasn't good enough. As I said, Locatelli, Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford right now would be our best footballer. We don't have a left winger. We don't have a good forward. We didn't want him. We wouldn't take him on loan. Grealish wouldn't want him. Wouldn't want what? I mean, you could do, guys, players you've seen that these types of fans don't want. McGinn, Ake, put them in the chat. Right, well done to you. Who lives in Charlton? Not me. If that's meant to be a threat, it's not really very worrying, mate. Again, no name, no face. Big hard man with no name and no face. Standard YouTube viewer. Look, I just think I've kind of acknowledged over the years where Spurs are now. I've kind of acknowledged it over the years where we are. I had this row years ago with other YouTubers about Aston Villa. I said they buy sensibly. They're going to be a good football team. And I was told, no, they're not better than Spurs. We've got better players. Years after year after year, Villa have done their thing and they're up there. Spurs, nah, we wouldn't want him. Wouldn't want him. Tielemann's not good enough for Spurs. McGinn's not good enough. Onana was another one our fans didn't want. Do you remember when Onana was linked from Everton? Didn't want Onana. Didn't want this player. Didn't want that player. We wouldn't want Matty Cash. Give me Matty Cash at right back over Pedro Porro all day, every day. An actual right back that does his job. Like, we've got to learn what we are. We've got to learn where we are right now. We are 17th 2 years in a row for a reason. We have lost over 50% of our games over the last 3 years for a reason. Or just under 50%, sorry. We're not learning. And when people say, but it's opinion, but the facts are telling you. Do you know what? This is a great point. This is a great point. If we sign any young player, everyone goes goo-goo-eyed over them. They go all goggly-eyed over them. Oh, my God. What? You name solid pros, nah, don't want him. Not good enough for Spurs. We need every type of player. We need all of these type players. We need an Onana. We need a McGinn. We need a Neves. We need a Wharton. We need a Gomez. We need all of them. This is the problem. It's a squad. Then don't watch. You're still watching, aren't you? Don't watch. Sure, individually they might, but as a squad, it's been put together terribly. Not difficult to understand. And some of them will end up at better clubs than Spurs. Some of them won't. Just stop. Go and do your own channel. I will do what I want to do. I'm bringing up good comments and bad comments. Yeah, again, someone like Harry Wilson. I'd love a Harry Wilson in our squad. Doesn't mean he's got to start every game. Doesn't mean he's got to start every game. But I'd love a Harry Wilson in our squad. And if Harry Wilson was the same age as Gray, everyone would be all over it. But because he's a senior pro, we wouldn't want him. Scott, bang on, bang on. Right, back, Scott, best comment of the day. Archie Gray's a future captain, but don't want the captain of the current fourth place team. That is a Spurs fan in a nutshell. Bang on. Absolutely bang on the money, Scott. Bang on the money. This is where we're at. Wouldn't want the captain of Villa or fourth, but wants Tyler Dibbling, who can't get a game at Everton for love nor money. Like, it's just ridiculous. Absolutely. This as well. Big up Mark. Absolutely. Goalkeeper need. Oh my God, we need a keeper, don't we? Oh, we need a keeper. Massively need a keeper. Again, look how we overrate them. Romero is world class. I've never watched him and thought he's world class. These are class players, dude. You've got what you deserve. You said this about John McGinn before we signed Gallagher. Don't wriggle out of it, mate. Don't you wriggle out of it. By the way, other clubs have two of every type. It's not getting it, is he? See, Matt can't bring himself to say, yes, John McGinn's better than what we've got. He can't do it. He's got to find a way to wriggle out of his shit opinion. That's the problem. He can't do it. He can't do it. Let's have a look, right? Let's have a look at John McGinn, shall we? So these are Premier League appearances only. So as Villa have been fighting top four for the last 4 years, John McGinn has played 34 Premier League games, 35 Premier League games, 34 Premier League games. And so far this year, he's played 24 because he's just come back from an injury. He plays week in, week out when fit, right? Week in, week out when fit. We wouldn't want him. Yeah, he has, Ellie. He has. I like Harry Wilson. I like how he's developed as a player. I think he's really come on as a footballer in the last few years. Yeah, do you know what? I've been really impressed with your goalkeeper. I've been really, really impressed with Semi Le Mans. I've been really impressed with him. Really, really impressed. Just goes about his job. I like that in a player. They don't always have to be the greatest in their position, but he goes about his job. Absolutely, Gary. Absolutely. We need a personality in goal. We need someone that's going to boss the back four and take charge of their area. Big up Hod God. Said, I'm embarrassed with some of these chats. Are they bots? You would think so, mate. Somebody said to me earlier before I started this stream, surely people like Matt, they must do this for effect. They can't be this silly. That they can't be this silly every week with these comments. Right? They can't be this silly. They just can't. They just can't. And Paul, you're absolutely right. Sorry, Pala. Absolutely. Well, that's the question. That's the question we're going to have to answer in 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, isn't it? Kinski or Austin. You know they'll put in Kinski. Why not give Austin a game? Why not? I've not seen anything from Kinski in any of the games that make me realise why we scouted him. Now, that doesn't mean he won't be a good keeper in the future. But again, we buy them young. Do you remember in a hype, right? Do you remember off the back of his debut, how mental everyone went? His debut against Liverpool. Oh my gosh. He's better than Vakara. He's better. It's like, oh my gosh. And again, we overhype everyone. We overhype everyone. But hey, it's what we do. We're in this position for a reason, right? We're in this position for a reason. Aren't we? That's the harsh reality is we're in this position for a reason. Years and years of being run terribly. Maybe they will. But maybe they might, as I said, maybe they might not want to be in the championship. You know, everyone's telling me how great these players are, now telling me they'll be happy in the championship. How do we know? I'm not saying I know. But how do we know that Bergval's agent doesn't rock up on the day we get relegated, you know, hypothetical, and says, whoa, I don't want to play in the championship. I don't want to play in the championship. Now, if Gray and Bergval are our midfield in the championship, where's the experience? Where's the know-how? Where's the leadership? That can't be the midfield too if you go down, can it? Gonna have to get a body in there. Like, you're gonna have to get a leader. You're gonna have to get someone that knows that league. As I said, look, if you look at, let's look at the championship, right? Let's look at Coventry, right? So in Coventry's last game, right? Let's have a look at their lineup, okay? And I kid you not, you'll be able to see. Oh, what's going on here? Why have I got no reception? Why is my what? Well, I must have Wi-Fi. I'm live. Let's try that again. 1 second. I don't know what's going on here. Hang on, I'll keep trying that. Gonna look at Coventry's lineup. As I said, Coventry's lineup and Middlesbrough's lineup this season, the teams that are first and second in the league, they don't play kids. They don't play kids. Now, you might be able to get away with one, but in that league, you need men. You need experience. You need fighters to get you out of that league. Got to, right? Possibly. Ash, absolutely. We're so bad at developing them, but we keep buying them. You're absolutely right, Ash. It's hilarious. And then fans talk about the ceilings. How on earth does anyone know anyone's ceiling? How on earth do you know? And this is my worry. This is my worry. By the way, I don't actually think he's that good at the moment. I've seen nothing that suggests to me that this guy's going to get us out of the championship. Well, let's hope it doesn't come to that. Bang on. My man, Glenn. Bang on. We're in this position because we have a mid-table first 11, but the squad depth of relegation team. when our first 11 are out, you see the depth of the squad. This is 2 years of evidence. Absolutely. Right, if I look at Coventry, right? I'm going to look at Coventry. This is their 11, right? I kid you not. So you can see here. Right? I'm not making this up. So you can see that's the 11, all right? Their goalkeeper is 24. Van Uyck, the right back, is 25. Thomas, centre half, is 25. Joe Latabadiere, I've probably butchered his name, is 26. Jay Da Silva is 27, the left back. Matt Grimes in midfield is 30. Onyeka in midfield is 28. Bless me. Sakamoto is 29. Brandon Thomas Asante is 27. Mason Clark is 26. Ellis Sims up front is 25. And if we look at the players that came on, Eccles is 25. They brought on a bloke called Markello, 23, off the bench. Wolfenden, centre half, came on 27. Bidwell came on 33. Notice none of these are kids. None of these are kids and they're top of the championship. They're not playing teenagers or 20-year-olds. This league needs experience. This league needs experience. And if we go down, I don't know if I can trust the likes of Vinay and Lang or Vinay and whoever to sack the right people, to sack the people and bring in the right people to get us out of that league. This isn't going to be as simple. See, again, mate, you're turning into contrarian again. Listen to what I said. It's not about ability always. You need the know-how. You need the stamina. You need experience to get you out of that league. You're not getting it. You're not getting it. When we're saying these midfielders are better than them, let's see then. If we go down and have to play Archie Graham Bergvall centre mid, I expect to win that league with what you're saying. But we're not getting it. Again, look at the arrogance. Oh, they're better than them. They're better than them. Based on what? I've never really watched Bergvall and gone, yeah, you're good. I think he runs around. He works hard. A couple of nice passes every now and then. I don't know what they can handle, Ray. I'm not sure what they can handle. And that's the thing, though. I need to see which director of football comes in next year that can build a squad for the championship. There we go. There we go. Winks and Skip. Winks and Skip. They played midfield for Spurs. People are telling me they were great. They haven't managed to get Leicester City. They're third bottom. Now, let's check before I go in too deep on them. Let's see how many games those two have played this season. Let's have a look. So Ollie Skip this season has played 29 league games. And why can't I find Harry Winks? And Harry Winks has played 27 league games. So they've basically played 60 league games between them in midfield. And Leicester in the bottom three. And this is why the arrogance of, but these players are better. I would not, I'm going to say right now, I don't trust. But again, Matt, just shut up. Please just shut up. Winks and Skip have both achieved way more than anything Graham Bergvall have to date. I don't rate any of them that you just said. Harry Winks played for England. Harry Winks played at the Bernabeu and ran the gate. Like, what are we doing here? This is ridiculous. As I said, I could say it's Thursday. He finds a way to say it's Friday. It's ridiculous. Any single thing I say, he goes the opposite. It's so dull now. I'm really regretting bringing you back, Matt. It's so dull. I don't particularly rate Skip or Winks, but I've seen Winks do way more in a Spurs shirt than I've ever seen Bergvall or Gray do. Sure. And what's Gray done? What's Gray done? This is the thing. Again, he hasn't achieved anything, but we're still there again. He's better than Winks. Now, Harry Winks for me was never good enough for Tottenham. But Harry Winks played for Tottenham for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seasons, right? 6 seasons, Harry Winks. Let's see how many England caps Harry Winks got. I shouldn't think it's many, if we're going to be brutally honest. But listen, I'm not a massive fan of Harry Winks, but look at the revisionism suddenly. Look at the revisionism on this. He's got 10 England caps, right? Played 6 years for Spurs. And suddenly we're going, but Gray's better than him. Well, so far, I haven't seen anything from Gray that suggests that. He's only 20. Give him time. But right now, I haven't seen anything. I agree with this. I agree with this. I agree with that. Not saying I ever wanted Winks, but suddenly now these players who have done nothing in a Spurs shirt for 2 years are suddenly just better than... But the point is everyone going down to Leicester would have said, oh, we've got the likes of Winks and Skip in midfield, we'll be fine. But here they are, bottom 3, because it doesn't just work like that. Oh, this Harrison Dowman's just an idiot as well. Again, this is the same fan, by the way. Gray's got to play every game. Gray's been playing every game. We don't win a single game. I'm not blaming Gray for that. But again, we don't win games. I was told it was because Gray wasn't playing. Now Gray is playing more than any other player. We're still not winning. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Big up to Andy Lester. Said Bovril and Jam. Worst. Yeah, it's a terrible combination. It's a terrible combination. But you know what? I acknowledge it's a terrible combination. I just like it. That's what it is. Big up to you, Andy. And big up to Winston Lawrence. How you doing? Say some of our fans need a reality check. Winston, it's never going to happen. These fans are watching us get worse and worse and worse for years. And all they do is bury their head in the sand and just say silly things. It's hilarious. It is absolutely hilarious. Absolutely, man. The arrogance. The arrogance is beyond belief from these fans. The arrogance is beyond belief. Listen, I'm going to send you over to Sean. When you get there, just say Savva Raid or fhtv Raid. Listen, we need a win from somewhere. I don't know where it's coming from. And I think if Tudor stays, we go down. But I wouldn't say they've all been standout. I thought he was standout against Atletico Madrid, right? I thought he was poor against Forest at the weekend. I thought he was poor at Anfield. He was poor the week before at Atletico Madrid. So, no, again, you're just doing what you usually do. Matt, I'm going to get rid of you, mate. I can't deal with you. You're just an idiot. Sorry. I can't. It's just all too much every time. It's crazy. It's crazy. Guys, girls, much love. Take care. FHTV Raid or Savva Raid. And as always, come on, you Spurs. And Enoch and Matt and Marios out.